Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here at Yarrabeen Golf Club. I'm here with Peter Knight. Thank you so much for coming on today.
My pleasure.
I'm struggling a lot with my early extension, which Peter is gonna try and give me some tips and some drills for me to work on. And yeah, and for you guys to learn as well. I know a lot of you guys struggle with early extension. I'm sure that it's probably one of the biggest common faults in every golfer's swing, isn't it?
We can even talk about the definition of it, because so many people use the term early extension and yet they only have a vague idea of what it actually means.
Well, I'm very excited to get into it. Let's do it, Peter. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. I'll just hit a few shots for you to just gauge just what my swing is like. And
Let's
then,
have a look.
Yeah, we'll go from there.
So you mentioned to me earlier about the fact that you feel like you're early extending in the swing.
Yep.
So tell me about that. What's the sensation to you?
So growing up, playing golf in junior level, I'm a pretty short guy. So I grew up playing with fellow mates that were a lot taller than me, hitting, a lot further than me. So I've always had to find a way to hit a bit further or catch up to them. So yeah. I feel like at the top, I tried to find my hips as quickly as possible. And I think that's the cause of, the hip thrusting forward and causing the early extension.
Yeah, so if we look at the term, because the term is used by a lot of players, a lot of coaches, and if we actually talk about what it is in the swing, people will see videos or watch players, and when they're hitting the shot, the body straightens up.
Yeah.
So if we look at what is actually going on in the body during that swing, what then should happen, and we'll look at some ways that we can perhaps either reduce that or eliminate it altogether. Probably not eliminate it altogether, because you actually do want a little bit.
Okay.
So if we start off with the definition, so if I have my body lean forward, if I straighten my body up, I'm extending my upper body. I'm straightening it up.
Yeah.
Here I'm flexing it, going forward, and I'm extending it. Now, when we swing the golf club, we start off in a flexed position with normal posture.
Yep.
When I rotate in my backswing, from side on, I appear to retain my posture. Now, what I'm actually doing is my body's rotating and also leaning sideways, and it is also straightening up a little bit. So the combination of those things is when in my normal backswing, my body's rotating. That's the easy bit to see. My upper body is also extending a little bit and flexing to the left. That's what makes the movement difficult when we think of it three-dimensionally.
Okay.
When I swing in the downswing, I'm actually going to do the opposite. So from here, as I swing down, my body starts to bend the other way.
Yep.
As I'm moving down.
Yeah.
So when I'm at the end of the backswing, my body's rotated, it's bending sideways, and it has straightened a little bit in order for me to appear to have turned back and stayed centered. In my downswing, my body's again rotating the other way, and it's moving into more of a flexion and starting to straighten up. Now, this is all, again, happening in order for my body to appear to stay centered. Then as I get close to the ball again, my upper body has to straighten a little bit and lean sideways while it's rotating in order to appear to retain my posture. So the idea of early extension is that as the player swings back toward the ball, rather than going through, say, the flexion phase, which is not to drop the body, it's just to keep the posture, they don't do that enough, and so then the body lifts.
Okay.
The hips thrust in, and as you mentioned, like the thought of trying to really work the hips can exacerbate that.
Yeah, okay.
So your body it rotates, it bends sideways, it flexes, and it extends in order to three-dimensionally appear to stay centered. So there's a fair bit going on.
Yeah. You just have to do it in one go. You just have to understand it and...
You have to, exactly. So then if we have a look and say, well, when you swing the golf club, there's a moving the golf club and you're generating a force just moving out away from you.
Yeah.
What we need to do is balance that force. And this is where the idea of the early extension or issues with it sort of come into play. So if I'm standing up and swinging a golf club horizontally, and for my body to stay steady, I'm generating a force going out, and I just work against that force. The net result is I don't move.
Okay.
When I'm stepping up to the ball, say roughly the angle that I'm going to swing the club on is around about 60 degrees. So it's not 90 like this, it's about 60.
Yep.
Now, as soon as I have that angle like closer to my body, I'll start swinging the club steeper, or the club comes towards my body and that angle moves further from 90 degrees. Then I'm going to counter that by my body standing up. So some of it is almost an unavoidable balance to balance the forces out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the first stage is if you make some practice swings, so make some practice swings for me and swing the club, say, at right angles to the ground. Slightly.
Yeah.
That's it. Good. So as you swing through, feel like from the end of the backswing motion, feel like you're moving the club toward me. It's like you're trying to hit me with the club, and see if you can feel that you're generating a force that's going to come toward me as it swings through. Now the club is going to, so
the club is going forward and then I'm pushing back almost, or am I all going that way?
Okay.
Yeah.
The second one, you moved your body in the direction of the force.
Yeah.
Now if you do that with speed, I'm going to have to catch you because you're going to feel like the force.
So I'm feeling like I'm pushing myself so I can throw the club at you.
So you'll be actually pulling backwards again.
Pulling back. Sorry, pulling back.
So do it at speed and let it go right. Let it go all the way through, and let your body keep rotating as well. Yeah. So can you sense that you're almost balancing that force out?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now do it, say, at about a 45-degree angle. So the club's not going to hit the ground, or probably swing over the top of the basket there. Can you still feel that you're balancing that force?
So I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as you're balancing the force effectively.
Okay.
So now when you're swinging through, what I want you to do is to focus not so much on turning your hips, but just on feeling like you're balancing the force. Now what you also feel is you'll feel some pressure going into the ground through your feet.
Yeah.
Which is what you're going to use to help balance that force. So don't focus on turning your hips so much as just balancing the force of the swing and feeling the pressure into the ground through your feet, which is what is actually going to help you to balance that. Oh, so those, please. So your hips are still going to turn.
Yeah.
Your shoulders are still going to turn, but you're not focused on trying to twist them out of the way.
No, I'm not trying to engage my hips there at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's still turning through.
It'll still turn. That's it. So that generally is the thing that's going to help us to get the feeling of not early extending.
Okay.
Now, other drills that you can do, things like placing like right foot back, which forces you to stay in posture, it can start to give you the feeling of retaining posture as you go through.
Okay.
It basically makes it nearly impossible to sit
Get up.
anyway.
Yeah. Unless you're having to, kick your knee up, right?
Yeah, or let your foot shuffle in towards the floor. Yeah.
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 Also keeps you in posture throughout, I guess.
Correct. So it's really, that type of drill is fantastic for getting this sense of, can I move through? What's the sensation through the middle of my body when I do that, so that I'm actually retaining posture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, obviously, you can't make a full swing. You can't go too hard. There's too much stress on your body when you do that. But it just gives you the sense of orienting the middle of your body and your back when you do that. But what we spoke about before, about this sense of I'm actually balancing the force as I go through, that's a really good way.
Sure. Okay.
Now, one other thing that we can talk about with early extension is a lot of the time the issue is what's happening with the hips. So when you set yourself up, so if I'm setting myself up here at address, my hips are going to be tilted down roughly 20 degrees.
Yep.
When I swing the club back, from say the camera's perspective, my hips have rotated, but they've stayed with that tilt. When I swing down, so many players will allow the hips to level. Now, of course, if my hips level, they'll move in, and of course my upper body has to come up.
Sure.
So a focus can be, when I swing the club back from here, I feel like my belt buckle is going to move a little bit more toward the ground. Not a whole lot, I don't want to arch my back.
Yep. Okay.
But the combination of those two things, understanding how the forces work and then controlling the pelvis. So from here, it feels like I'm going to tilt my belt buckle. It's going to point to the ground closer to me. If it points further away from me out there, I've lost my posture. So it's the combination of those two things. Certainly controlling through here, because that's going to influence.
Actually, yeah, when I look at my previous swings, when I'm at impact position, my belt buckle is, looking up to the sky.
It will level.
Yeah.
It will level.
Yeah.
It's just if you start the downswing with the belt buckle appearing to tilt further down, then you're going to be fine, because there's so much speed, there's so much force, and it's all happening in a quarter of a second anyway.
Well, I guess that's why it's called early extension, right?
Correct.
Extension is good.
We need to extend,
but you're just doing it early.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Okay.
a whole definition.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as you get to the ball, the hips will tilt up, extend if you like. Upper body will extend, but that's really just retaining your posture. So your hips leveling as you're approaching impact is completely normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So what kind of drill should I start implementing?
So if you set yourself up, just set up. So if your hips are tilted forward about 20 degrees, your belt buckle's probably about where my shoe is there, roughly pointed to it.
Okay.
Now go back to the top of the swing, and then in your downswing, the focus is on the hips, but feel like your belt buckle's going to point to the ground inside of my foot. Doesn't have to be massively different, but just a little bit inside. Yeah, so that's a super exaggeration. You actually don't do that when you're sitting because your body won't let you do that.
Yeah.
But so it's only a little bit, but it's a sense of, can I get that belt buckle pointed a little bit closer to me, or inside my shoe, if you like, so on the ground here, rather than pointing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Good. Okay. Great. Now if we combine that, so we're doing two things at once here, which is a challenge for me. I don't know about you, doing two things at once. So now I've got this feeling of my belt buckle pointing a little bit more toward the ground, but I'm allowing that club to swing sort of out and around for me. So that sort of helps me to tune into the fact that I need to sort of balance that force with my body. You do those two things, and then you'll start to get the feel of retaining posture better during the swing.
Sounds extremely easy theoretically, but I know I'm going to struggle with this.
Let's put the theory into practice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so when you first did that, you're holding on to your posture, you're holding on to the club.
Okay.
Let it swing. Like when we did the swing where you were swinging pretty much horizontally, you just let it go.
Okay.
So when you were swinging the club at 45 degrees, you let it go.
Yep. Okay.
Now let's do this thing.
All right.
The same thing with the swing at normal. That's better. Just let it go.
Sure. Okay. All right. Just free swinging.
Free swing.
Free swinging.
Well done. So not so much emphasis on the hip turn, and yet you watch the swing, you go, turn your hips.
Yeah.
And of course you always will.
That was very smooth as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's extremely windy today, but that was just penetrating through the shot.
That's right.
Okay. Just a couple more. That felt great. I feel like I could hit balls all day like this.
Because there's less stress on your body, because you're not generating shearing forces around your pelvis because you're trying to turn.
So is it almost also feeling like your arms are just, because hips are always going to fire and it's always going to be quicker than your arms.
Correct.
Are you feeling like you're trying to just get the arms just swinging through faster?
It's almost like a throw. You're trying to throw the club out toward the ground.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's going to move in an arc, of course, because you're holding it and you're turning it with your body. Nice. Really nice balance there too.
Yeah, that was very smooth, Peter. Is there any issues with not taking a divot while you're hitting shots like that? I usually thin a lot of shots, and if I do hit one really nice, I usually clip the ball.
Correct.
Too.
So this sweet spot on the club face is around about the 4th or 5th score line up.
Okay.
Now, if you hold a ball against the club face and you have a look where that ball is in relation to that 5th score line and look at the bottom of the club, needs to be at least at ground level, if not 1 or 2 millimeters lower than the ball. So the club needs to make contact with the ground. Now, whether that's taking a deeper divot or a shallow divot or sometimes no divot, because you've got a cushion with the grass anyway, that doesn't matter too much.
Okay. Yeah, because it feels like I'm, hitting them really nice, but it's just kind of just caressing through the grass. I mean,
correct.
I just hit a few more. And in terms of like the hip thrust with that motion, is there any checkpoint that I should be aware of when you are doing, you know, obviously those drills that you've mentioned?
If you do the drill and if you've got the belt buckle sort of feeling like it's pointing down a little bit,
Yeah.
it makes it really, really difficult for your hips to thrust anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And we know with even in the definition of early extension, we want the body to extend, but just not too soon.
Yeah.
So we don't want to totally eliminate that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your first practice where you sort of really exaggerated the motion, that's not something that you're ever going to be able to reproduce at speed because of the forces acting on you.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Good work. Well done. That's a much smoother movement too.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
And how do you know that you're on the right track? Of
Record yourself and have a look.
Yep.
If you're monitoring how, by the way you're hitting the ball,
Yep.
you know, am I hitting the ball a little bit better? Do I seem to be striking the ground in much the same way all the time?
Okay.
If you are, then obviously the movement must be reasonably consistent as far as body movement and club movement. And for the most part, that's going to be good enough.
Yeah.
If you're looking to totally eliminate any look of upper body lifting at all, then you're probably trying to exaggerate the movement a little bit too much.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess as long as you're hitting the ball well, I think, you know, a lot of people want that perfect looking golf swing, maybe like Adam Scott's or something. But yeah, as long as you're striking the ball well at the end of the day, I mean, that's the whole goal of golf, right? Playing
Correct.
golf.
Yeah, yeah. Am I hitting the ball better?
Yeah. But it's as soon as that movement causes issues in your ball striking, then that's, yeah, I guess,
Yeah,
where you need to attack it.
exactly.
I'll just hit one more for the camera. If I hit this well, this will be the end of the video.
That's it. Well done.
Wow,
Very nice.
very nice. Well, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you, Peter, so much for coming onto the channel. I hope you guys learnt a lot. Guys, priceless and very valuable lessons right there. If you guys ever come to Victoria or if you're near Yarra Valley, is it?
Yarra Bend.
Yarra Bend, please do see Peter Knight. He's also on Skillist. I'll link all his socials in the description below. And yeah, you've also got a YouTube channel yourself.
I do. Peter Knight Golf it is.
Make sure you check that out because yeah, Peter has honestly just fixed me in less than an hour. So yeah, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks.
And if you guys like this video, make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment because it'll go a long way for the channel. And happy golfing.